second half where the Kia Center got incredibly loud, and you look down and you see Mo Wagner getting everyone all amped up. What kind of spark energy does he provide for this group? Because it seemed like he really infused energy in the group multiple times there.
Mo or the crowd?
No, the Mo, getting the crowd jacked up, but both, the tandem there.
It's who he is, you know. I mean, he plays with a ton of energy, a ton of enthusiasm, and you talk about the joy that you need to have playing this game. He does it. He plays it with a chip. He plays it with aggression and a fearlessness. And I think our fans recognize that. You know, the passion that he has for the game is the same passion that they have for this team, which is what you love about this, you know, this community and how much they continue to support us.
Coach, it was 40 points in the paint in that first half for the Cavaliers, and Wendell and the entire group just came out much more stern, it felt like, especially inside. What was the biggest difference, I guess, for the Magic inside for the paint tonight?
I think Coach Oz did a great job of challenging them at halftime defensively to be better, to take out the paint, protect that first, and then get out and make sure we're flying around and getting to shooters. But I think them willing to take on that challenge from Coach was really fantastic.
Kind of building on that, to see a team that's never been in the playoffs before, never kind of been through the ups and downs of a series, to see them make that kind of an adjustment. You know, you talked about the adjustments earlier. See them do that. What does that say about this team's maturity and how far they've come even in the last week?
It's a credit to them. It's a credit to our coaches who have continued to teach all year and talk about the different experiences we've been through. So it's no different than the game in January, where you're trying to figure out how to get out of a little bit of a slump, or you don't start the right way, but you can't hang your head. And this group showed a tremendous amount of poise to be able to bounce back and understand our defense carries us, and it allows us to, you know, get out and get easy baskets on the offensive end.
Jamahl, you've told this team this is what can happen, and they don't seem like a group that needs to see it happen, but actually proof of concept and experiencing this and getting the win the way that you did. What does that do just to reaffirm what you've been processing?
This group knows what they're capable of doing, you know, and sometimes you do need a reminder. Even the best teams, you know, have to be reminded how good they can be. And I think that first half was allow us to wake up and look at it a little bit and say, you know, who are the Orlando Magic? How do we play? And to turn that on in the second half, that's what you saw. But that comes from experience throughout the year, a group of guys that continues to pull for each other, and no matter what's happening in the game, not hanging our heads and continuing to push through.
Jamahl, of any of the teams you've been an assistant coach or with this team, when was the last time you saw a quarter as dominant as that third quarter was?
I'd have to look that one up. I don't know. I could go back to the days with Denver when, you know, there was an elite level of defense there, and able to score. But right now, I have to look that one up and go back into my notebooks and find out when we did that.
What does it say about your team that you managed to win this one when Paolo didn't have a particularly effective offensive game?
You know, that's the great part about that young man. We've said it from before, and, you know, a lot of people talk about it when he's scoring and doing all these other things, but he's finding ways to win, whatever that means. And part of that is, you know, celebrating Franz getting going and enjoying that. And then he comes out in the second half, and some of the passes he made were just part of baiting the defense as they're going to shift to him. And so I think his ability to recognize how it's being played and being able to move the basketball the right way, share it with his teammates, and then celebrate his teammates to who the young man is.
Jamahl, you mentioned the chippiness that comes with playoff basketball. There were a couple moments when Jalen got into it, Franz and Mo each got into it. The camera flashed on you, and you were smiling like ear to ear. How much do you love seeing the fight of these guys and whatever it takes?
That's this group. We embrace all of it. And we're not shying away from physicality or not shying away from the chippiness, from the talking. That's part of this game. That's part of the game of basketball. And obviously we do it in a smart way, but our ability to embrace all things coming at us. And that's what's helped us grow, helped us get better, and learn from each one of these experiences that we've been in.
Jamahl, I know you take it one game at a time, but how good does it feel knowing that there's going to be more basketball in Orlando after what you've seen over the last two games in this building?
You know, I think it's our fans. Their support is just incredible. The energy that they continue to bring, and the waiting after games, and just continuing to get our guys going. It's great to be a part of. And again, we did what we were supposed to do. you take care of home. We talked about it when we left Cleveland. Take care of home. We did that. Now we got to go out to Cleveland and continue our defensive efforts.
Jamahl, when the score was tied 41 and you guys lost the lead and started to get away from you, I think that's the time you talk about you guys were pounding the rock a little too much and not moving it. How do you come out? You guys came out of that in this game and turned it around. When you had those 2 games in Cleveland, seems like that didn't turn around as fast, which is why you lost. So how different is it trying to replicate this in Cleveland? Is it just a matter of experience, or is there something else that goes on with playing on the road for a young team that's kind of hard to figure out?
Let me package that one. Let me try to get that one. So at the end of the day, and then that's what we said. I think we tried to duplicate exactly what we did in Game 3, but each playoff game is going to be different. But there's things that do work, no matter where you are, whether you're on the road or at home. Defense travels, so you got to get stops, finish possessions to get out and run. Offensively, the ball's got to pop, the ball's got to move, knowing how they're loading up, recognizing how they're loading up. And they're loading up to P, they're loading up to Franz, and recognizing what that looks like, but just continuing to share and move the basketball. So I don't think there's a certain recipe other than the simple part of the game. Share it, move it, trust the pass, trust your shot. The first 2 games, we all talked about it. The ball was moving, bodies were moving. We missed a lot of shots.
Thank you, Coach Mose.
Thank you, guys.